I mean, these are fantastic. So,
Yep.
sorry, Lazy Man's Tacos?
Lazy tacos. Just lazy tacos.
So
it's basically a taco burger.
Yeah.
But my way, you know what I mean? And then a bologna sandwich, man. Fried bologna sandwiches. Because the most intense part of Chopped, I think, is when the host, we were all in the hallway, right? Stood up. And then all of a sudden, I kept hearing him say my name over again the way you were a while ago. And I was like, holy shit, is that God?
Is it happening?
All of a sudden, you hear it real loud, like, Marie. I was all...
Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About You, ABQ.
That's right, it is all about you, ABQ. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, culture, lifestyle, so that you walk away with some value feeling inspired. Now, the way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests you want to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can reach out on our social media tag up here or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, got a bird's nest for hair today.
Yeah, you probably know Grant and his purple shirt as the head coach of the University of New Mexico men's Lobo hockey team. Now he's absolutely crushing it in the mortgage space.
You've seen Skip on HGTV's House Hunters, and he's part of the top 2% producing real estate agents in the city.
Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined by a local celebrity, Marie Yniguez, who's a celebrity chef.
And is this guy fluent?
I am Espanol fluent.
He's bisexual, bilingual,
bi-curious. By the way, Marie also brought in some tasty treats from her new restaurant, so we're going to crack open those tacos and just go to town. Anyways, ladies, Grant, what's been going on with you, man? I see your hair's on point today.
Yeah, missed my haircut appointment. When you keep weird hours, you miss your haircut appointments, and I sure missed my haircut appointment.
We all missed it for you, big dog.
I was playing with streaming lately. It's very tough to stream.
Let's plug your streaming channel, grantpegs.com. What is it? So it's a late night streaming channel about mortgage?
No, I don't have it yet. I'm trying to get it down. Like it's like half the time I'm missing like audio. Then the video goes to here, and then it'll be like the video will be turning out, and it's very tough to stream. The only streaming I've been doing are my tears.
Well, shout out production. Production value is key. So Mark, you're doing a good job back there in the booth. Try not to screw up this episode for us.
But we like you, Mark. We're out of here next season.
Yeah, so current events, man. Easter was last weekend. Hid some eggs around the house for the girls. Watched them do the Easter basket thing. It's funny as an adult, and we talked about it obviously for Christmas and stuff. Just as you pivot into that next stage of life and watching the kids just explode with giggles and excitement, hunting for eggs and stuff. I don't know. It's a different perspective.
Skip told me he has wooden eggs.
Yeah, the price of eggs are gone through the roof. So shout out intern Ashley sourced some little wooden eggs that you can color on with markers, and then you can use them next year, dude.
Maybe if you color them with markers, it's with wood. What do you do? You just
sand
them down?
Technology,
you just
dude.
sand them down?
They're sanded and painted white already. It's a blank canvas, dude. It's a little egg-shaped blank canvas. Use your mind for that.
I'd never heard of wooden eggs, so now, you're not up to date on wooden eggs? No one is, because it's made up.
We cover the hard-hitting topics on this show.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
His family's now eating wooden eggs now, and that's in the refrigerator.
It's hard times. I have wooden teeth.
Hopefully our guests are using real eggs and not wooden eggs and just eating sawdust, but okay.
What's new with you, man? Wait, did you ever finish your bathroom remodel? I hate to keep bringing this up, but this
I'm one mosaic tile outlet away, and then I'm going to show it off because we've been talking about it for 2 years, and to the point where my insurance company said we're going to cancel you until we see, if we don't see pictures of this thing done because we sent you a check 4.5 months ago, then we're going to cancel your insurance policy. My friend Clarky has been working on this alongside Anderson. Said, why don't you just take a picture of what is not done? Show them that we've done nothing. Tell them that you guys take a vacation every other week and you meet at my house and go, let's go to Aspen. Great. Where's my Aspen? Waiting for you guys to hurry up with the house.
Aspen. Yeah. Well, speaking about renovations, there's a new renovated project taking place in Rio Rancho. The former inn at Rio Rancho has been transformed into an apartment complex.
What?
Yeah, exactly. You've never heard anything like this. bringing in over 100 spaces for working professionals in the city. So it's kind of a trend that we've seen along Nob Hill, where the old motels have been converted into shop space. But this is a studio apartments that you can now rent in Rio Rancho, and a lot of the traveling nurses and people that work at Intel. So just another case of this commercial properties being redeveloped for residential.
And for those who want to make music all the time, I would take a studio apartment too.
Okay.
Non-stop rapping, just everything I do is a hit.
A banger, just banging on the door to shut the hell up. It's your neighbor. Anyways.
Get it.
Anyways, 70% of the apartments have been leased as of April 18th to traveling nurses and professionals. Property also features amenities with space for gym and co-working areas.
What does it cost?
Yeah, good question. You'll have to go on the website, which we didn't pull up.
Okay. While Mark is back there looking for stuff, Mark, is it a bad time to bring up my business cards are coming back in? For the longest, there he is. People wanted me to bring back the old Lobo Grant coaching outfit. There it is. There's one. I bet you don't have another. Oh, we do have another. What? Who own all those dogs? What are you, a millionaire? Okay, well, is that all? Oh, wait, there's another one. So, let me tell you the reason behind this. I realize that there's a couple people on earth. Some that are going to heaven and like my Pomeranians, and the ones that aren't, they're going to hell. But those are engineers, and they like the coaching picture. So, that's why I have the various business cards. There's sometimes where in this world setting that some people can be apprehensive, and maybe there's a woman who's been divorced, or maybe there's, I don't know, this big tall guy, I'm kind of worried about him. Don't worry anymore. I hand them the Pomeranian cards and everything is always okay. Copacetic, they would say.
Wow, you are on the forefront of marketing. I appreciate that.
Do you want me to help you? First of all, get your haircut done. He looks like he's from Seattle. This is UABQ, not UC.
You Seattle?
You see yourself.
What about me screams Seattle? I'm looking at
Your
it.
hair's parted in the middle. You look like a hippie, and you look like you look like you were Nirvana.
Saturday.
You never listen to another CD after Nirvana because every music sucks. I like my coffee. Not that other P word stuff. What are you drinking?
P word?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Dude, fans, you know. This guy he's smoking as much dope as a guy in Seattle too. Look at him.
What day are we?
No, look at him.
Look at this guy. All right. Well, besides P word coffee, is there anything else that's got you up in arms?
Yeah. Let's hit it. I think that's a real cigarette.
It might be.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about referrals and advice and recommendations. And where I'm going with that is how many times people you see on Facebook go, "Hey, I need an electrical engineer. I need a new dentist, and I need a new cardiologist. Anyone have any recommendations?" First of all, what does anyone know about cardiology on here? What does anyone know about cardiology on Facebook? How would you know you have a good cardiologist? You didn't die. People say they have the best dentist. Why? Because he didn't give you too much Novocaine and take out the wrong tooth. The people's recommendations are asinine. So this what happens in real estate too. People will say, "Hey, I end up using my aunt as a real estate agent. Sorry, I didn't use you." First of all, I'm not a real estate agent. Second of all, your aunt has nothing to do with her capabilities. So I find a lot of people kind of doing the best friend route, or like, "Hey, my neighbor does cement. Does he do a good job? I don't know. You should use him though. I know him." So just because you know someone doesn't make them a good referral. And oftentimes we can't qualify referrals. And have you ever asked somebody, why you would pick them, or what made you choose them? It usually is because I know them, or that's my cousin. That's not good enough for me. It shouldn't be good enough for you. Remember, qualify recommendations and referrals.
It's actually a two-way street. Have you ever received a referral from somebody like, "Hey, my cousin needs a loan," and then it's just somebody you've never met, and then come to find out halfway through the transaction their cousin's an absolute psycho and you don't want to work with them?
Yeah, and that's a tough one to pass on, because then you want to do a good job for the person that you referred from, right? And so you don't want to. But how do you have that conversation?
Get an attorney involved, like I had to.
That can be a tough one, and then you kind of wonder sometimes where people have a falling out, and you get them, and you go, "So you've had a problem with your last two people you dealt with," and you go, "Oh, this is why," like everything's unreasonable, and you punch your Sears manager in the face, and we can't do this loan now because you don't have a job, stuff like that. Sears closed.
Yeah. It should be.
No wonder that guy.
Yeah, someone got punched in the head.
You know what? How many referrals? I have a griping session. I've only had probably 4 referrals from my family. I don't know. I don't know if they go, hey, does anyone know anyone that does mortgages? And they just run off and just go, la, la, la. They just don't say, like, they're like, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I forget what Grant does. He's a real piece of shit.
Actually, my dad doesn't know what I do still. He said to somebody, yeah, well, Grant's a real estate agent. I go, oh my God, it's been 22 years. What does it take?
Do a refi for him. That's how good the service has been.
I can't do. There's no referrals, no business, no shirt, no shoes, no business.
No way.
That's me, no pants.
No pants grants. Coming up next, here's where you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined by Marie Yniguez, who is the absolute celebrity chef of Albuquerque. We're going to hear her backstory. Plus, stay tuned to the end of the show. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. This is UABQ.
Yeah, cut his tips off.
Welcome back to UABQ. I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
We're joined by Marie Yniguez, celebrity chef and just local rock star here in Albuquerque. Marie, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah. Blonde hair tips. Yeah.
We're ready to rock. I'm glad you're here today. And you didn't come empty-handed, which speaks volume about, number one, your character, but you're willing to put your recipes on the line here with a couple of hungry hippos. But I want to ask you, first of all, Marie, where the hell is Hurley, New Mexico?
Hurley, New Mexico is down south. It's in Grant County, next to Silver City, New Mexico. Like literally, if you blink, you'll pass Hurley.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And now they used to be able to find it because the smokestacks were there. They had these huge smokestacks because it's a mining town.
So that's where you grew up?
Yeah, my grandparents, my grandma and grandpa just passed away in the last like 10 years, and they still had their little house down there on D Street, and my aunties and everybody still live there.
What's the population there?
Maybe a couple thousand.
Okay.
Maybe.
So is the school dedicated to did you have to get shipped off some?
No, they had Hurley Elementary School there, and then you went about maybe a mile and a half and you're in Baird. So Baird's another little town there in Grant County. So you went to Snell Middle School and Cobre High. So it's all Cobre consolidated schools.
Oh, fantastic. So, okay, talk about growing up in a small town in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And how did that play into your culinary adventure?
Well, we came up from nothing, right? My family is all miners. They've been miners forever. My grandpas, my grandmas, everybody retired from the mine down there. So my whole familia is from down there. But I came up to Albuquerque when I was like 9. Okay. My mom met my dad, was my stepdad, Fred. And he moved us up here when I was like 9. So it was like coming to the big city. You watch the news from little towns, bro. This place is scary. Like my auntie's still scared coming up here. You know what I mean? It's like going to New York or some shit for us from Albuquerque. You know what I'm talking about, bro. First time you're there, you're like, what the hell?
The mean
we saw
streets.
this shit on the news and we think we're gonna walk out and get shot. You know?
Well, I think you fit in very well to the Albuquerque vibe. And as a true New Mexican, you have to have, I mean, looking at tattoos, do you have the Zia symbol? Because that's what, and there it is.
My daughter actually drew that one. That's why
Respect.
I saw crooked. But my daughter drew that one. And then, of course, I got the Virgen.
There you go.
We got the roses and we got the Sacred Hearts. And we're New Mexican all day, bro. We do that max. And I don't go anywhere that doesn't say that I'm from New Mexico. Anytime I walk in anywhere, they see a Zia symbol somewhere on one of my hats, my shirts, because
cool.
Loud and proud, bro.
Respect that, because I've moved around and I lived in a bunch of different cities, and when people always ask me, where are you from, and I go Albuquerque. I'm from New Mexico. And people always go, huh. Mm-hmm. You're proud of that? I'm like, hell yeah. That's
yes,
my home,
dude. That's where we're from.
Yeah. Green chili, do or die.
Everything about Albuquerque. I mean, there's now it's getting a little rough now, and it's kind of scary sometimes in certain places, but it's home, and the people here are good.
You know what's kind of, I'll say this too, it is getting rough. It's getting rough for every town though.
Yeah,
and the thing is, there's a lot of things that aren't just sovereign to Albuquerque.
Yes.
And fentanyl, and I don't want to get in this long speech, but it's taken its toll on
everybody.
Every big city, right? And so this isn't foreign. If someone's like, oh, look at this guy, he's staggering, he's driving on 3 wheels. Every town that has fentanyl, someone's driving on 3 wheels right now. Probably someone right now, maybe in Austin, Texas, is driving on
Dude, I travel all over, and that's what I see. Because at first you don't see it, and then all of a sudden you see it.
You can't unsee it.
It's everywhere.
Because I want to defend our town in terms of there's bad parts everywhere, and everyone acts like, oh, look at this happen now, and I'm like, well, look at the parts that was in, or look what was involved.
It's because everybody thinks that we really live in Breaking Bad. I think that everybody thinks we live in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
They think that it's shootouts in the old Wild West in stuff like that. We have some bad stuff, but we're also way smaller than these big cities. So per capita, we're honestly not as bad as these big cities. It
Right.
just makes us look bad because we're smaller.
Well, I'm glad you're proud.
You know?
That's-
Oh
that
my
makes
God,
sense.
dude. New Mexico is my life. This is
Well,
my home.
okay, so bring us along on your journey from Hurley, New Mexico to James Beard
It is
nominated.
right now.
I mean, how
I
does
can't
it?
take it anymore. Keep going.
You might
Yes.
want to warm it up. James Beard. You know what? I say it's my grandma and my mom's and my aunties, bro.
Yeah.
They taught me how to cook this. They taught
So-
me how to cook the basics, bro, of what we had in the refrigerator and what we can do with it. You know what I mean?
Walk us through our menu today. So these are from your current restaurant
Yeah.
with my mom.
So this is a red chili, Olga's red chili enchiladas.
I'm not being paid either.
And Olga was your mother.
Olga was my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was her favorite thing is red chili enchiladas, and we like thrived off that. That's like old recipes from when we was kids. That's what we've been making our whole lives. And then those are lazy tacos, and I make them a little different than my mom does. But my brother Anthony always wanted to open a restaurant called the Lazy Taco, and so I made lazy tacos for him. So these are just things that are
Oh, that's
from
so
my
delicious.
heart, right?
That tastes like New Mexico.
Yes.
Good blend of the green chili
And the
smothered
red.
in the red.
Yes.
I'm a red chili guy. He's a green chili guy.
Oh my God, my red chili. We pride ourselves at the
This red
restaurant
chili's
on
pretty
our
good.
red. We
Yeah.
make everything from the pods. Like we go through probably about 15 gallons of red chili in a week, if not more.
Wow.
Yeah, we go through a lot. Those big old botas full of red chili where we're having it soaking while we're waiting for the next day to blend it.
I mean, these are fantastic. So,
Yep.
sorry, Lazy Man's tacos?
Lazy
What-
tacos. Just lazy tacos.
So you
So it's
throw-
basically a taco burger,
Yeah.
but my way, you know what I mean? And then a bologna sandwich, man, fried bologna sandwiches. Because the whole point of my restaurant is to give homage to my mom, my grandmas, and my aunties, and my sister, you know, because they're the ones that taught me how to cook. They're the ones that cooked for me, and I learned while I ate, right?
Wow. Yeah, you
And-
do have to. I mean, it is funny how many people
Yeah.
just watched in the kitchen and picked it up.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes no recipes. My mom cooks with no recipes.
Well, I'm right there with it.
Yeah, she just like puts it together. So that's the Espanol in her, but she
yeah.
puts it. She just goes and she doesn't know how to say
It's
how
like
to do
they
it.
say
She
that the
just-
ancestors tell you that's enough. You know what I mean?
Really,
You know.
that's funny. Yeah, there isn't like what do you do? They just
Mm-hmm.
they just picking stuff. Or can you eat something that and figure out how to do it?
Oh yeah.
I know that's
Oh, yeah.
there's something inherent
just-
about that where you know what's in the food, right? And
I
you know-
love food. I just love food, and I like trying different food, right? Because we're from New Mexico. So when I was from Hurley and I moved up here when I was 9, that was the first time I ever had barbecue.
Oh,
I had never had barbecue. My dad took me to Quarters.
Quarters. Let's
So
talk
that
about
was
quarters.
that was the
Oh,
first
no.
barbecue I ever had. But this was like 40 years ago. It was fire.
Which quarters
was-
did you go to? The original on
The
what was it,
original on
second?
Yale.
Yale?
Yep, it was on Yale. And
Yeah.
we went there, and he got this big old pan, man, and it had all the different meats and sausages and onions. I had never seen nothing like that in my life. That's why I opened Smokin' Fred's 46, was
So-
for my dad.
Okay, so Smokin' Fred's is
Yep. Mm-hmm.
that's your dad inspired, and that's a food truck.
Yeah.
So run me through the differences of running a food truck business versus a brick and mortar. What are
Food
different
truck,
headaches?
you can be where you want to be when you want to be there. You can pick up any catering you want to, special event you want to. You find somewhere to park that makes you good money. The food truck for me is harder than the restaurant
I'd imagine.
because you have to commit yourself to, like, if you're going to go to a brewery or something, you have to commit yourself, and I can't do that. Like, I want to be where I want to be. So, like, my Smokin' Fred's was for me and for my dad so that we could have some fun. Let's smoke anything. It is not just briskets because we have the
Smoke
guys.
anything, huh?
And
Yeah,
we-
I gotta know.
While you smoking, you smoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, from
You know, I'm not
Albuquerque,
gonna
yeah.
lie. I'm not gonna lie, but it was for me to have some fun. So that one's like my for fun,
Well, and if you're smoking meats, it's not something you can just turn on and go. I mean,
and it's
yeah,
not even
that's
just
a,
meat.
That's an 8-hour, at least, right? To
12,
prep.
18 hours,
Yeah, that's what I'm
depending
saying.
what
You
you're
can't
doing.
just be like, hey, I think I'll go out today and do the food truck. You
No,
gotta plan ahead.
you have to plan ahead, and it has to be perfect. And it has to be perfect, and that's the one thing with smoking meat. Like, I'm learning a lot about that stuff. I've had it. I built that myself in 2021. I went and got a trailer, a 12 by 6, and we put sides on it and had a special smoker made by Nevin from Disket Grill. And he made me, I can put 20 pounds of enchiladas in there. So we do like smoked green chili chicken enchiladas, smoked carne adobada
wow.
enchilada.
Now, for
you
that-
know what I mean? Like New Mexican, but my way, because you got the guys making ribs and brisket
It's
and
been
pulled
done.
pork. It's being done. And I don't want to compete with those guys. I want to do my way.
So does that food truck have its own like website? If I was
Smoking Fred's
so I can
46.
track wherever your location's going to be.
Website, Instagram, it's all Smoking Fred's 46.
But I mean your location for the week is where it's going to be at the schedule.
But right now, like with the restaurant, it's so busy that I haven't even been able to get off the grill. The restaurant is. So now that the summer's coming, we're hopefully get a couple more people hired, and then we can push out the truck.
How do you keep people? Tough, right?
I don't know if you keep them. It's a rough road, but when you get the good ones, you got to pay them right and respect them as much as they respect you. You know what I mean? The chili hits you, huh?
No, I could finish the rest, but I think I'm going to go for that taco. But I always see, and I guess in turnover in restaurants,
it's rough.
Whatever it may be, not even bars, and there's a side cooking. It feels like there's a lot of turnover, and maybe that's the nature of the business where people go, that's it, I'm headed somewhere else, and everyone's just kind of hopping places.
And that's what you see. Albuquerque's small, so you've worked with somebody or somebody's worked with somebody, so it's best not to make a bad name for you there because the other restaurant's going to know.
Do you feel, as a hands-on business owner, do you have a hard time turning your recipe over to the cook and then walking out the door to go to an eye appointment or whatever? Do you feel as though that's your baby, that recipe?
It's like panic. It's like a quality control kind of thing. Yeah. But luckily, like my crew, I've had them, and during all the craziness that I've gone through in the last 2 years, I think they're the reasons that I stayed open.
Let's talk about
because they handled happening.
So some of the shows you've been on, because you're quite pedigreed in this field here. So you've been on TV, you met several. You've been in several shows and several cooks and.
But let's talk about behind the scenes for reality TV, like diners, drive-ins, and dives. I mean,
it's a long day.
It's a lot. But so what does the prep look like? Is you have to pick, 3 items on your menu that you're going to showcase, or do they come in and tell you? They come in and tell you.
They pick them. You give them your menu and you give them your best stuff, and they're like, okay, this is what Guy wants you to make him. And that's what you do. And then like for diners, drive-ins, and dives, that was a 2-day shoot. Mm-hmm. First day was with Guy, and that was actually the first time they'd ever done it first with him. So the first day we did that was like 15 hours, something like that with him. It's a long day because it's stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. And then we did it again, another one, and it was like, okay, Marie, on the film, you poured it from the right side.
Yeah, retake.
So you got to make sure all this, and that's when the voiceovers go.
I'm sure you have to get a little bit annoyed where you go, oh my God,
I got tickets backing up back here.
No, you have to close.
Oh, really?
For diners, drive-ins, and dives, you have to close.
But you have like friends and family come in and sit, and it's like a staged meal where they eat, and they go, "Oh, this is the best place in town."
Yeah, pretty much. They all, you ask your friends, family, like customers. I had a bunch of customers that were there, and they would go and see me, and that's what we did.
Did you notice the bump in business?
Oh my God! When that happened to Bocadillos, we had only been open like 6 months.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't even know how you guys heard about us. We like play more video games than I make sandwiches.
So did they reach out to you to schedule?
Yeah.
Or is that something? Wow,
they reached out to us. Me and my wife were actually that day, we were having a conversation, and I was like, we need to just close because we were feeding schools at the time.
Right.
We were feeding like 1,250 kids breakfast and lunch every day.
That's a lot.
And we had opened the sandwich shop so that we could keep our employees employed during the summer. But I swear, we sat there and played more video games than we made sandwiches. Our sandwiches were fire, but we're in between chimichangas and Lotta Burger when we first were out. You know what I mean? Okay. So nobody knew who we were, but somehow they got a hold of us. And we went from 6 chairs to 60 chairs.
That's been the premise of a lot of times. I think on the show we talk about someone could be really good at something, but if no one knows, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So there's the one half of businesses is the quality, and unfortunately the other half is marketing. Some people get away with marketing, and their food is subpar. When you got both going on, what you have in what's called business is cash cows. So you're set. This business is going to come in, and you don't need to advertise. You're just kind of
and
part
we
of
never have.
Right.
We're Facebook, Instagrammers, and then all the shows we've been on. That's national, worldwide. Yeah. I've met people from all over the world because of that.
I'm here from Poland just to
I'm
see
not
you.
even
I
joking,
hope this
bro.
bologna
From
sandwich is
Singapore,
good. Yeah.
from Italy,
Seattle,
everywhere. Seattle.
That's out of town. Yeah. That's out
dude.
of
It's like it's a great thing, but then it's like kind of like a great thing, but then it's kind of like a curse too because we're in Albuquerque, bro. If somebody's going to come and judge every single thing on that plate just because you're in Albuquerque and your mom makes it better. That's the way it goes, you know what I mean? But it's a lot of pressure. But you just got to keep being real and being who you were on that show.
By the way, because Skip
fried bologna.
Skip will eat a tennis racket if you fry it.
No, it's a fried bologna
He likes
sandwich.
fried everything. All right,
fried bologna. You never had fried bologna?
No. So my dad made a fried bologna sandwich when I was a kid, and I think his was probably not anywhere near as good as that, but his was more so because, growing up, they were on rations. And
yes, that's what we grew up. That's like us. I just did videos the other day on a grilled cheese because I used to make them with commodity cheese when I was like 5 years old because my mom was at work.
Well, you have your hand in a lot of things, not only running restaurants and doing TV shows, you also have a YouTube channel where you go on and do, cooking shows like that.
It's called Cooking with Marie Yniguez. And it's for me just to go and have some fun because I can't be on these legs for any much longer. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting tired.
So tell me what we're watching right here.
Right there, looks like I'm making red chili for the pozole. So on this one, I got a big pork butt you could buy for like 30, 35 bucks. And I showed you how to make 7 different meals out of it. So that way, because nowadays, bro, things are so expensive.
Eggs, huh?
Wow.
They came down. I was like, what, from 100 to 60? It used to be 20 bucks, bro. Like now it's like, it's still, no matter what. I was explaining this to one of my guys the other day. He's like, the gas. And I said, you know what, bro, don't even complain or look at it. I said, because
it is what it is.
You need it.
Yeah.
And if you need it, you need it. You just got to go with the flow.
The issue is, people will like maybe give a baseline or a ceiling to prices, and prices have to go up, unfortunately. And I'm sure that's a hard thing for you to go, oh, we got to move this up.
Well, it makes me feel bad, bro, because I know if it's expensive for me to go eat and I can't afford that, like how can everybody else go afford that too? You know what I mean?
It's probably something you have to grimace.
I want to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's interest rates. For you guys, it's what goods and commodities cost, right? So you go, oh my, like it's probably hard for you to like say, oh, we got to increase the price, and it's almost like sorry, and it's not up to you either.
No.
So you're apologizing for these factors that
has
just
nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But we're the ones at the bottom of the totem pole that get the shit. You have to
deliver it too, right?
We're the ones that get smacked with it because we're the ones giving it to the consumer.
You're the face of the company.
We're the last part of the consuming, right?
So running a restaurant, right? You have to be proficient in your recipes. And what was the biggest hurdle you had? Was it hiring and keeping people? Was it learning how to keep the books? Was it trying to get business licenses?
Oh my God, the books, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking taxes, IRS, bro. God damn.
How much they want access to, right? Every quarter. It's like,
not even that. I didn't even know what to do. And then we gave it to people that we thought they were knowing what to do. And the next thing you know, I'm in a little room and they're telling me I'm going to come get all your shit. I asked them, can I just go to jail? I asked them flat out. I'll come out like Martha Stewart. I asked him, bro. I asked him straight up. I'll never be able to pay you all this money back.
They like use jail deterrent. Actually, I'll take the jail.
What do you want me to do?
190 days of jail. I want the jail. Thank you very much for doing it.
I asked
now let's get started.
Well, I asked for it, and then the man told me, no, you can't do that. I said, then why do you
it's whatever you want. No,
you're threatening me with a good time right now. Like, I'm down.
Want to get some more tattoos?
I've been there before a few times. I'm good.
Okay, I'm ready to go back. No, you can't. Actually, you want to do that? Now you can't have
it.
There's no jail. Jail's not an option.
Now I know how to go in there and not waste my time. Write a book, bro.
Go ahead. Send me to prison. I love it there. Okay, he's not going to prison.
Reform the food in the prisons.
I want 5 years. Nope. No.
When I was living in San Diego, I was hanging out with my friend, shout out Chris Canali, CK, and one day we were a little bit hungover. We were hanging out on the couch, just vibing out, just wasting a day basically. And we found this show called Chopped. And it was like, the first time we had seen it, and we sat there for like 8 hours in a row just watching Chopped, just like placing bets, like, I bet it's this one, this chick's gonna win, whatever it was. What was your experience like, not only going on Chopped, but just being just a standout on the show?
It was fun.
Was stressful?
No.
The show is stressful to watch. I don't even see
I don't know.
It's stressful. She wants to go to jail. Do you think she gets stressed?
No, bro. To me, that was like opening up your fridge and seeing what you had. And that's why I went into it. And I went into there knowing what I know. I'm not going to go in there and say I'm going to make some fancy word I can't even say. I don't know what that even is. I'm not going to go show out. I go make tacos. I know that I can make a taco out of anything, and I know I can cook a piece of meat out of anything.
You can make one
and that's what I did, bro. And it's sweets. I mean, when you go to the next level, it's just like, oh shit, oh my God, I made it, and it gets more intense. The most intense part of Chopped, I think, was when the host, we were all in the hallway, right, stood up. And then all of a sudden, I kept hearing him say my name over again the way you were a while ago. And I was like, holy shit, is that God? Is it happening? All of a sudden, you hear it real loud, like, Marie. I was all, I got like freaked out. That was the part where it hit me. But I didn't get nervous, man. You just go have a good time.
Do you remember what your winning recipe was on Chopped?
On Chopped?
Yeah, your winning dish.
It was the dessert. It was, I think I won all of them. The first one I did a tuna taco. The next one I did like a buffalo steak. I didn't even know it was a buffalo sirloin. All I know is I saw red meat and I heard sirloin. That's all I heard. And I was like, I gotta cook this shit right. That's all I know. It had to be medium rare. But it was some ugly ingredients that I've never worked with any of those ingredients. And then they gave me a salt block on the last dessert one. 10-pound salt block of Himalayan salt. So what do you do with this? I was freaking hitting it and hitting it with a spoon. I finally started grating it, and I made a salted caramel out of it with an olive oil cake.
You should have called it
And,
salted caramel.
I did.
Salted caramel. I like it. Salted?
Salted. Oh
Yeah.
shit, that's a good one.
Do we have that?
I like that.
Depending on that recipe.
Yes.
I went in on that. We'll follow up. And here's a salted caramel. It really hits you.
Hit 'em.
And now you're
That's
the
how you
chopped
break,
winner.
and that's how you break the salt block.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So what a cool story from small town New
Yeah.
Mexico to on the main stage of the world, on reality TV, running multiple restaurants, YouTube channel,
Yeah.
food truck. What's next?
She's like King
I started-
Midas. Is that
Yeah, it's all gold.
Honestly, bro, I started teaching. I started teaching a class over here at San Maria High
Yeah,
School.
you should
one of
do
the
more
charter
things.
schools.
You should do more. You
Bro,
should
but
take on more.
that's where my life is. So I want to
Yeah,
teach
that's
people.
good.
I want them to know that they could be a thug ass kid like I was, but still come out of it on top.
Should have got
As
to
long as
skip
you're-
earlier.
You know, you got to be good people, and that's the number one thing. So I started teaching there. I'm going to start teaching at the Los Lunas prison with Fernando Ruiz from Santa Fe in a reform program, so that they're on their way out. So they'll come out with their food safe handlers and serve safe and stuff like that, so they can go get a
You
job.
must sleep as much as I do, which is like 3 hours a week. How do you do it all? You have your
Dude,
hand in everything.
Perseverance, dude, and honestly, I'm there to help. You know what I mean? Like, I care about my employees. I want them to be there. I care about every customer that walks in my door, and we just want to make sure that we're giving the same thing every day. Keep the same energy up, because as soon as you start moving back, then it starts going down. So, like, as an owner, I have to be there washing dishes. I have to be there doing that, because if you work as hard as your employees will respect you just a little bit more.
This is kind of Albuquerque stuff, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
like we are like thoughtful and we are tough.
Yes.
Like we have this like.
We have a big heart.
Yeah.
Our hearts are big.
But you try to take it from us, you get salted caramel.
Oh my God, to the max, right in the throat.
To the max.
Yes, dude.
Well, your energy is to the max. Your food is to the max. And
I was good.
Yeah, I was really good. And
Good. I'm
that's-
glad you liked it.
Yeah, it's something different, but it's the same. It's what we're used to,
Yeah.
but it's a little bit different. And I
Yeah,
think that's
dude.
what sets you
I
apart.
brought my mom and my grandma, but then I put my little bit of twist on it. You
Well,
know
I
what
think
mean?
I think that's great. And just to reiterate, the name of the store, the name of the shop
My
is
Mom's.
My Mom's.
Mm-hmm.
But why
it
is
was-
it My Mom's?
To dedicate it to my mom and then to everybody's mom, because being a mom isn't easy. I'm a mom myself. My daughter's a mom too. You know what I mean? And being a mom's not easy. And I know my mom worked a lot, and we'd have to fend for ourselves a lot. But like, I knew when she made me a bologna sandwich, she put it there with all of her heart.
Sweet.
And I think that's what your moms do. No matter if they could cook or not cook, whatever your moms give you, they're doing what they can to make you good. And they're setting themselves aside for it. And that's the whole point of my moms. And being downtown, bro, and this craziness that's happening in this world right now, like, it's nice to people to go in there and feel comforted. You know, we just got a review yesterday, and they said that they left in tears because it reminded them.
Oh, sweet.
I think
of
that
their
is
grandmas, you
that's
know
a
what I
form
mean?
of
And-
care. I think
Yes.
to give food, it's a form of care. I
Yes.
agree, and I actually feel soothed sometimes when someone feeds you, and
Yes.
people feel soothed to serve you too, right?
Yes.
When you deliver food, it's a gift and it's an act of care. So,
Yes,
yeah,
and
I
it's
can
an act of
appreciate
love,
that.
and you have to keep it there. That's why, like, I feel like I have to be at the restaurant a lot, because I want to
sure.
make sure that my employees care as much as I do,
Yeah.
and they do, and
Yeah.
that's the good part.
You have
You
to
know
yell
what
at
I
them.
mean?
Don't you understand? I love you.
Get in the red chili.
Yes.
You taste
Put
that.
your hands all the way in there.
Rub your eyes.
It's a big deal for me, and I love to see how my customers walk in. And I have all kinds of people going there. Hey, mom. Hey, mom. I'm like,
That's
I'm the
cute.
biggest lesbian in Albuquerque, and I'm everybody's mom. But it's okay. Bring it on over. You know what I mean? Because I have a big caring heart, bro, and I just want people to feel the same, and I want them to feel good when they come in. I want them to feel good when they leave.
Well,
Because we're down there by the courts, bro, and there's lots of people that go in there. You have lawyers going in there, you have the cops going in there, you have people that just got out of jail going in there, people that are going to jail going in there, and you want to feed them something good, because the day's crazy, and at least for that 30 minutes, an hour that you're sitting in my restaurant, you're gonna have a little bit of like relaxation.
well, you are everything that is New Mexico and everything that is all about Albuquerque. So we
Right on,
appreciate
man.
you sharing your story with us here today. Marie, thank you so much. And like I said, we'll come in and shoot some
Dude.
footage of the store and hopefully get another bologna sandwich.
Anytime, bro. Go get the biscuits and gravy, homie.
We'll be in for brunch. Coming up next, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. This is UABQ.
We're back, and Skips is just beating the next level of Tetris but we will go see Skip's Tips in just a second.
It's available.
Oh, yeah.
Skip's Tips, or anything that saves us time, makes us more money, allows us to have more fun in real estate or in real life. Attention buyers, there are deals to be had. Did you know inventory is up about 20% from where we were this time last year? Yeah. So if you're thinking about making an offer, consider a lowball offer. Not to be rude, but if done correctly, it can get you the best purchase price and terms in a competitive market where there's a lot of listing. Let's talk about it. When you submit your offer, be sure to submit some comparable sales to substantiate a lower value. Additionally, it wouldn't hurt to go through the house with a contractor and submit some bids to help justify a lower value for making those repairs on the property. Keep an open dialogue with the listing agent and let them know that you are truly interested in buying the home and you're not being rude by offering less than asking price. If done correctly, it could save you thousands on a purchase price. Follow for more tips. Share this with a friend and tell them Skip said so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so good segment.
Hey, that wraps up season 6.
Yeah,
Season 7, big changes.
We need a new name, and we have a list. So Facebook, we'll go on our Instagram. We're gonna give a poll again of options for our new name because we're getting rid of podcasts. Because podcasts suck, and we're not a podcast. We're a live show with wood tables, a globe, and bad hair today.
But we're also a recorded show.
We are recording
on the internet.
Yeah, but still, you can see it. And podcasts usually can't see it because no one wants to see two people talking in a microphone. Okay, so they don't have a wood table either. So we're not a podcast. We're a real TV show, like Geraldo
Rivera. Every Wednesday night and Sunday morning here on the Education Channel, worldwide
Marie
YouTube.
Povich.
This is all about you, ABQ.